There's just enough info there for the internet to go absolutely wild with something. And that's what we're getting here with all these Chris Jericho rumors. I love when these rumors start going, and who knows where they're coming from, what they mean, who's responsible for them, but it allows all of us to just wildly speculate. So Chris Jericho has been off of AEW television for a little bit, which is, normal. Just, give him a chance to rest up and to we thought maybe just start to develop whatever the next story is going to be or whatever Jericho's going to do next. And then all of a sudden, little rumors started running around going, Chris's contract is up. His AEW contract is up right around the end of this year. And that's interesting because I don't even know if it was on anybody's radar because, that initial group in AEW, they signed whatever it was, I guess 5-year deals it would have been, which are all starting to be like, okay, let's see what everything looks like right now. So I don't know how that came to the internet's attention, but it came to the internet's attention that Jericho, his contract is apparently coming up towards the end of this year or beginning of next year, whenever it officially does. And then people started buzzing. Jericho could be leaving AEW. Jericho could be coming back to WWE. And an infographic showed up, and you know how I feel about infographics on Instagram. I burned all my books. I said I don't need them anymore. Any reading I do is going to be on an infographic. So I got an infographic, and it said Chris Jericho's AEW deal ends December 2025 is what the graphic says. He's open to a WWE return depending on the situation, which is like, to me, the most non-headline ever. Like that's one of those headlines that there's no way you could prove that to be not true because it's so broad. Like, if there was a situation he could be open to possibly return, yes, that would apply for literally everybody on the planet. But Jericho being one of them. Now, but the infographic is not the story here. The story is that a certain Instagram account double-tapped it. An Instagram account double-tapped it. An Instagram account called I Am Jericho. Chris Jericho double-tapped the Instagram infographic that said he's open to a WWE return. And you go, oh my God. Now we're talking. Now we're getting spicy. Now we got something cooking. And then they go, they go, well, there are rumors that WWE could be interested. There are rumors that Chris Jericho could be interested. And all of a sudden, WWE's on their website going, it's a fun video that just happens to be trending. Let's throw it up front and center. Chris Jericho makes a surprise return to the Royal Rumble in 2013. Wasn't that wild, guys? And we all watch it. And we go, that was wild. I wonder what Chris Jericho thought of that. Well, then you go to Chris Jericho's TikTok account. It's all over the place. You need a web browser and an Instagram app and a TikTok app. That's why we do it all here. You know what I mean? We condense everything. Chris Jericho on his TikTok account posts a video, and it just says throwback, fire emoji, and it's Chris Jericho returning to the Royal Rumble in 2013. And it is a throwback, and it is fire emoji, but it also is very conspicuous, I would say. It's definitely gotten all of us talking. And look, these are good things to do when a contract is up, to put all of this out there so that all parties involved are aware of what's going on, so that hopefully all parties involved will come to the table with deals that may benefit you. So without getting into, the way Chris Jericho does his business, because that's his business, from a fan perspective, now we can start speculating wildly. Now we can start concocting all these ideas. And the question is, and if you have an opinion, it's 877-344-4893. The question is, if this is all real, if this does turn into something, if in January of 2026, Chris Jericho being in the WWE is actually an option, is it something that you would like to see? And I want you to put yourself in the position of you are watching wherever you're watching, if it's the Royal Rumble, if it's whatever. Put yourself in the position that it is next year. Are you excited to see Chris Jericho back in the WWE? 877-344-4893, because I'm telling you right now, get all your, please retire hater energy out of here. I'm telling you, Chris Jericho returns to the WWE, I'm losing my mind, and I'm not alone. If Jericho were to return to the WWE, it would make all of us go nuts. And you got to do it at the Rumble. That's a Rumble return. There's some returns that I'm like, no. Like we were talking yesterday. Naomi returning, I don't see that as a Rumble return. That wouldn't be this year. That would be next year. I see Naomi returning as getting directly involved in a story. Jericho returning, I've got Jericho returning in that Royal Rumble. That's where I would have him return. And the sound of Break the Walls Down, oh my God, it's going to be right up there with Edge returning to the WWE. And Jericho just getting that final run. And what's great, right, is that WWE is set up in a way right now where they utilize people differently. And there's this, very, you can see it, this very visible thing that in the WWE, there's an awareness that there are WWE legends, there are current Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers, like main event guys, and then there are people that in the future will be main event guys, right? You have your John Cena, Brock Lesnar category of people. You have your Roman Reigns is probably in between current main event and legend guys. Then you have your current main event guys, which are Punk and Rollins, and maybe Punk is more in that Roman category too, because he could be in that sort of legends category. But then you got Rollins and Jey Uso and LA Knight and guys like that. And then you have the future guys, which is the Braun Breakers and the Bronson Reed and all that. And as big as things are in the WWE, the fact is that when John Cena is gone at the end of this year, that's a big hole. John Cena matches, John Cena stories are top of the card matches and stories. Jericho could be one of those guys coming back to have this last run that fills in for that. It's not going to do the exact same. It's not going to be the exact same thing as John Cena. Number one, nobody is John Cena. And number two, I'm not advocating for Jericho to be I'm retiring, I'm coming back for a year. I'm just saying that in terms of oh my God, I can't believe John Cena's back. Oh my God, I can't believe Edge is back. Oh my God, I can't believe Chris Jericho is back. And there's no doubt in my mind he would reinvent himself as he always has and have that sort of last run, however long it lasts, in the WWE. But dude, break the walls down, hitting at the Royal Rumble and realizing that Chris Jericho was in the mix with this current crop of guys would be massive. 877-344-4893. Let's go to Steve. What's up, Steve?
Hey, I've got an idea to throw at you.
Hit me.
What if Jericho comes back before this year is over at the end of December and he's Cena's final opponent?
Steve, I've got to tell you, normally that type of stuff, I go come on, dude. No, it's I love that idea. I love the idea of being you thought that the train was over, but it's only just beginning. The idea that we're moving on to the next station right now. You can see that transition, and who knows? I don't know if contractually that would work. I don't know if when things are up or whatever. But just from our perspective, in terms of would this be cool, the idea that John Cena has an open challenge for his last match, right? And maybe his second to last match, he loses to Drew McIntyre. So you have that sort of, he put somebody over on his way out. Not only to put Cody over, but now he puts Drew over before his last match. And then he's just there to kind of, in this celebratory space, end of December, and he goes, all right, who's going to answer the challenge? And Break the Walls Down hits, and Jericho beats Cena. I got Jericho winning that one. Jericho beats Cena in Cena's last match. And then whatever story Jericho is telling now gets to take off right from there. So you literally continue, without John Cena going back on his promise, you get to take the energy, because that's what wrestling is, right? It should be at its best, that passing of energy. You get to take John's energy, pass it through Jericho, and now that John story continues through Jericho because Jericho's the last guy that beat him. I love the idea of Jericho coming back as a surprise for John Cena's last match. I don't know if it works contractually, but I'm not a lawyer. I host a radio show about professional wrestling. We don't have to go to the same school for it. But I don't think any lawyer could do a better job than me. So, then again, I wouldn't have me defend me in a court of law. So, there's that. Robin in Alabama. What's up, Robin?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Jericho at the Rumble, but, Break the Walls is good, but if he came out to Judas with the size crowd that's there, in AEW it was one thing, but the size crowd singing Judas when he comes out.
There are people, and of course, Cody came back and he used his American Nightmare music. But man, there are just so many WWE moments that start with Break the Walls Down. The fact that, and he has come back. Yes. He is surprised. Think about it. The debut of Jericho in August of 99 is a surprise. And what does it start with? Break the walls down. That's just one of those, things that you don't want to mess with.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like Becky Lynch has new music. And I think the new music is great, and I like the vibe of it and everything. But as of now, that pop, that always happened when you heard, whoa, that's not there. And so and I know Judas has its reaction because it's been so well established in AEW, but the idea that WWE Jericho is back, that's the difference. I think that with Cody, you wanted the American Nightmare in WWE. I think with Jericho, and forgive me for saying, it's almost like when Hogan came back to WWE, the WWE fans did not want the NWO. They didn't want Hollywood. As big as Hollywood had become, they didn't want Hollywood anymore. They wanted red and yellow Hulk Hogan. I think if Jericho were to come back to the WWE fans would want old school WWE Chris Jericho and Break the Walls Down, I think. Hunter in Iowa. What's up, Hunter?
Hey, Sam. How's it going?
Good.
So I would love to see Chris Jericho back in WWE, and if he was to come back, I'd love to see a feud between Chris Jericho and Logan Paul. What are your thoughts on that?
I like that because now that's almost one of those things that Jericho and Logan Paul would have to see if they could hang with each other, because old school Chris Jericho is a master on the microphone, but Logan Paul has become quite the master himself. So how does that? It's almost like Logan Paul does have a lot of old school Jericho heel qualities. So I would like to see a battle between those two, but also there's a part of me that wonders if Jericho would be a heel if he came back. When he comes back the first time, he's obviously going to get that big pop. But ultimately, maybe he twists things up a little bit by actually being that heel where John Cena, I know he turned heel, but was John Cena ever really a heel? People were too excited to see him. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if Chris Jericho, in my mind, would be a babyface or a heel if he returned to WWE, but but that's what I mean. The idea of Logan Paul versus Chris Jericho. The idea of Chris Jericho interacting. Can you imagine Dominic Mysterio and Chris Jericho in a ring together? How great would that be, dude? How amazing would that be? We could revisit Punk and Jericho. There's so much there. It's been so long since Jericho has been gone that there's so much to revisit and to see for the first time. It'd be a wild thing.